would pop up at my church. I'd be so nervous. My mama just be staring at me. And I'm like, I can't stop him from coming up to the church. Like, I can't. He's trying to get acquainted with the Lord. Like, what am I supposed to do? Wow, it's just magically, he just magically appeared. Like,
yeah. So I know that you feeling me.
hey girlfriends and boyfriends, welcome back to another video. I'm Ashley if you're new. And if you're not new and you're already one of mine, hey girl, hey boy, I told you I was gonna call you back. Today I wanted to do something real fun. I got me some wine. I already been drinking it. No, be quiet. I already been drinking some of it. I did a video earlier and I drank all of it up. Decided to get some more, so I'll leave where this wine is from. It's so good. Below, it's called Lemonade. It is a fruit wine made by a black owned winery here in Alabama. I'll leave it down below because they do ship to different states. But I wanted to do something real fun. This is like super old, so I can talk about it now. I can talk about it now. As you can see from the title, we're gonna do a story time about the time I snuck a boy in the house and got caught. So just something real fun, real chill. Story times are always fun to hear about. It's like almost everyone lives the same life, so I just wanted to share this just for entertainment purposes. It did happen though, so yeah. Just gonna jump into the video now. If you're interested, just keep watching, girl, because it's a funny story. Okay, y'all, so let me give y'all some backstory. So this was around my 9th grade year. I was, how old are you when you go to 9th grade? Like 14, 15? No, 14. I hadn't turned 15 yet. So I was 14 or 15 or just turning 15, I don't know. And I wasn't at the age where my mom and my dad allowed me to date yet. So of course I did anyway. And I started dating this guy. He was maybe 16, so I think I was 14, he was 16. I started dating him. I met him on Facebook. Or did I meet him at a track meet? I think I met him at a track meet and no, I met him on Facebook. I don't know how I met him, either on a track meet or Facebook, one of the two, and we just decided to, you know, talk and stuff. And that was back when like Skype and all that stuff was really hyped up. So we would get on Skype and talk back and forth like that. And yeah, so I just had to give y'all a backstory. So we ended up getting together. Me and this boy, I'm gonna call him, what's the name I can give him? I'm gonna call him Chandler. I don't know. So me and Chandler, we got together and, you know, we were talking and stuff like that. He went to a totally different school than me. I went to a high school that was in his area, but he still went like to a totally different high school, so we never really saw each other unless it was like a track meet or something. But at this point we hadn't got to the track meet. Okay, so I met him on Facebook then, and we, you know, talked through Skype and all that stuff, and then I ended up meeting him at a track meet for the first time. So yeah, so we y'all, it's so funny because like kids are so bad, and I was so bad. So I wasn't bad. I was just, I don't know. So anyways, we were talking and stuff, and we got bored of talking on Skype. And so you know how like when you're older, he was 16, so of course he was able to date and stuff like that. I was 14, I wasn't able to date yet. He decided that he wanted to meet me in person. So I didn't want to tell him that I couldn't have a boyfriend yet, or we couldn't see each other yet. So I was just like, oh, I'm going out of town. Oh, I'm not in town. Oh, I will always make excuses, right? And so it's just so much you can do. Like, it's just so much you could do to make excuses. So I knew eventually I was going to have to let him come over or see him somehow. I don't know how I was going to do that, but I knew that it was going to come a time where I needed to. So I did the little excuse thing for maybe about, and we were in school, so it was like I was doing it every weekend. So I did that for maybe about like 3 or 4 weekends. That 5th weekend, he wasn't going. He was like, you know, you always doing something. Are you really telling the truth? And so one time, I really think he saw me in Kroger, because if you don't know what Kroger is, it's a grocery store. Y'all, he was in Kroger. I didn't know he was in Kroger. And so he texted me. He was like, I think I see you. I looked at my phone. I know for a fact I looked at my phone at that moment. And he was like, I see you. He asked me what I had on. I told him what I had on and stuff. Of course, I told a story about it. I don't know what I said, but I told a story. And he was like, oh, this isn't you. This girl got on so-and-so, so-and-so. But he said what I had on, so I know he saw me for a fact. Y'all, I was so scared because I wasn't supposed to be dating or talking to boys. Like, well, I could talk to boys. I just wasn't supposed to be dating or being just like super exclusive with them. So I remember it's so crazy because I think that weekend when he had asked me, you know, something about what were you doing, I didn't respond right away. And he saw me at Kroger. I ended up going to the car. I just ended up staying in the car. I think I told my mama something like my stomach hurted or I was just tired, want to go back to the car, and I went to the car. And so we didn't see each other that weekend either, but he was really upset because he thought he saw me. He did see me, but he thought he saw me. And he was just upset, but I had made a, you know, story about that, and I got past that. Now, we're gonna get into the first time we saw each other. So the first time we saw each other, I kind of had my best friend in on it. So me and my best friend, we talked. I was so scared, y'all. We talked to friends. So they were friends. And they would do everything with each other. So we kind of like met them. I lived by like a empty parking lot, and we met them at the parking lot. So we were acting like we were walking. We went walking, and the crazy thing about it is they didn't have a car. They didn't have anything. We lived probably driving distance away from each other. We lived maybe about 5 minutes away from each other. Walking distance, maybe like 20 to 30 minutes walking distance. So it's so crazy like what people do, like being young. That's so crazy. But anyway, so he decided that him and his friend were going to walk and come see me, and I was very scared because we had just got out of school, and it was around the time like not around the time my mama got off work, but kind of like close. So we decided to go down and act like we were walking in the parking lot, exercising or whatever. They came and they saw us, and so that was like the first official time that I saw him, and he saw me in person. So it was really, really fun and stuff. And instead of letting that just be one time and just letting it be, I had to keep doing it. I had to keep doing it. So every time my best friend came over, every time we, you know, she came over, even if she was spending the night over my house, I was spending the night over her house, they came and saw us. They walked or they rode their bikes or something. They came and saw us. So I always did it with her. So this particular time, I did not do it with my best friend. She was not there, or I think, yeah, she wasn't there. So I decided to see him by myself. So, mind you, we had been seeing each other, you know, everything. He had never come in the house, never did anything. I decided that, okay, nobody's here, so come over. So I told him to come over. He had, you know, he had it in his head that he was gonna come on over to my house after school. So after school, it seemed like everything happened. Like, it seemed like my daddy just wanted to go everywhere. Mind you, now he's walking straight from his school to my house. So my daddy usually just, you know, comes pick me up, take me home. That's usually it. My brother didn't have any games. We weren't doing anything. He'll come pick me up and take me home. it wasn't like basketball season or football season or anything. My brother was in sports, so after school we would go to like out to eat before a game, or if my brother has to be picked up from practice, we'll go do something. But it was out of season, so usually he just picked me up and he took me home. That was the routine. Well, this particular day, I remember my daddy, he wanted to do so much stuff, and mind you, Chandler is on his way to my house. Like, we had made it known, after school, come directly to my house, because that'll give us a little time before anybody comes home. My daddy wanted to stop at the store. He wanted to take me to a pawn shop with him. He wanted to stop by somebody else's house before we finally ended up going to my house. I was so scared because Chandler was supposed to be coming over, and I didn't want him to run into my daddy. Like, I didn't want him to do that. So my daddy ended up going ahead and dropping me off. I think I had like 5 minutes to spare before Chandler got there, y'all. So Chandler gets there, and like I said, up to this point, he has not been in the house, has not done anything. Well, this particular time, I decided, it's kind of hot outside. Let me go get you some water. But then I felt bad. I was like, okay, well, you can come in and you can sit on the couch. Y'all, we hadn't took any pictures together. We hadn't done anything to leave a paper trail up until that day. Like, that day, I don't know what it was. We sat on the couch, took pictures together, had so much fun just talking. You know, like, you just talking to somebody that you don't get to see all the time. Like, we just had a really fun time. We weren't doing anything that was considered too grown. Like, we weren't doing none of that. We were just sitting, talking, having fun, and just enjoying each other's company. And we ended up taking some pictures. So by the time, like, my mama usually gets off around 5, so by the time 4 comes around, I'm like, okay, well, you need to go ahead and leave. And then it wasn't gonna get dark, because it wasn't, I think it was daylight saving time, but I just didn't want it to get too late where he had to, you know, walk home. He still had to walk home and stuff. So I was like, you know, you can go. I got an hour to spare. I don't want to be too close to the time I'm gonna get off, and I don't want you to walk in late. So he left. We stayed on the phone the whole time he walked home, because that was his first time coming alone. And so we walked home. I mean, he walked home or whatever. We were on the phone the whole time. He got home. I thought everything was cool. Well, the next 2 days, the next 2 days is the reason why I ended up getting caught. So, we had a bell, and we had this teacher, well, this principal, she was like, don't let that bell catch you. So basically that means get to class before the bell catches you. Well, I was printing something out in a previous class for the class that I was going to. So I was waiting on my teacher and waiting on his TAs. Those are like his teacher assistants, which are really like students that help him in their free periods. Like if you're in 12th grade and you have a free period, you can help a teacher. So I was waiting on them to print out my stuff. But in the midst of me waiting, I got caught by the bell, basically. So I was debating, like, just staying in his class or just going to class. But he eventually told me, the teacher was like, you have to go to class. Like, you have to go ahead and go. And I'm like, well, can you write me a hall pass? He was like, no, I can't write you a hall pass, but you can just go to class. So I was in 9th grade. I was kind of scared because I had never been in that situation before. So instead of going in the class like I should have, I didn't go into class. And the reason I didn't go in the class was because usually that teacher, when you're late, she makes you go to the office and then you get a parent-teacher conference. And what a parent-teacher conference is, it's not even a parent-teacher conference. It's just like an inconvenience for parents, basically. Like, because you were late, they have to come in. It's like a suspension almost. They have to come in the next day before you can come back to class. They have to come in and sign a paper or whatever. And then, of course, it lets them know that you were late for class. And so parents can kind of be like a little, I don't want to say, like, my parents, they're understanding, but sometimes when it comes to school, they just weren't understanding sometimes. And so I didn't want to deal with it. Like, I didn't want to deal with having to explain to my mama why I was late, why I didn't have my stuff printed out, why I wasn't prepared for class. So I just decided not to go to that class. And it was the last class of the day, y'all. So all I had to do was get through 45 minutes of not being in class. So I ended up linking up with this boy. He likes me. At the time, I wasn't even checking for him like that. Like, we was just cool. I guess I just liked the flirtiness of it. So I linked up with him because I saw him in the hallway. He had missed the bell as well. So he wasn't going to class. He was like, what, in 11th or 12th grade? 11th grade. So he wasn't really worried about that. Like, he did that on a regular. Me, on the other hand, I didn't do that. So he was just like, well, stay with me. We just got 45 minutes, you know. So we walking all around. We find them places to hide or whatever. We hear somebody in the hallway. We just having fun. Like, it's fun, but I'm still scared. So instead of just going to class. So we hear the principal that's always like, don't let that bell catch you. We hear her coming down the highway. And we hear her constantly saying, oh, come on, go to the office. Oh, come on, go to the office. We like, oh my gosh, she's like walking the halls trying to see who's not in classes and sending them to the office for a suspension. If you get caught, you are either gonna get a 3-day suspension or a 2-day suspension. So she was like, up, get caught, go. I mean, not get caught, but she was like, up, go to the office. Go to the office. Come on, go to the office. I'm like, oh my God. So I tried to like hide in the corner of like where the lockers were so that I wouldn't get caught. And so that worked, but I had to find another way out. So I was like, I can't just stay here. So I had to go in the bathroom because I really had to use the restroom. And so I really was using the restroom, but when she came in, she said, when you come on out, I guess she already knew. She was just like, when you come on out, come on, go to the office. I'll be outside waiting for you. So I'm like, oh my God, like my heart is rushing. I got called. I'm like, oh my God. And this goes with the story, I promise. So I'm like, oh God. So I, you know, do my business, wash my hands or whatever. She asked if I have a hall pass. I said her no. She knew that already. And she sent me to the office. I'm cool with the secretary lady in the office. I'm thinking she just gonna let me off. She gave me my suspension, y'all. I was so mad. She gave me my suspension, but she had to because the lady was right there. The principal was right there. So, anywho, I get my suspension. I don't tell my mama about it because I need time to let Chandler know. I just got in trouble. I'm probably gonna get my phone took, so don't text me. So I didn't tell him. I didn't tell my mama. I didn't tell my mama the rest of the day. Like, I was going all throughout the day and night. I had got the suspension, so I'm trying to think, how am I gonna tell her? How am I gonna tell her? And so I didn't tell her because I'm using this time to talk to Chandler for the last time until I get off punishment or whatever, and like to delete evidence that we've been meeting up and stuff like that from what I thought. So I'm deleting texts and stuff thinking that that's okay, not remembering that I still have pictures in my phone. So the next day, my mom wakes me up for school and I'm like, I don't have to go to school, I have a suspension. Well, she thinks I'm playing. I show her like the paper. The lady said on the paper, like, the principal wrote skipping class with friends in the hall, which that wasn't the case, but that's what the lady put. That's what my mom believed, so that was it. So I knew it was about to happen. She was, give me that phone and don't get on the computer when I'm gone and this and that, that and this, and don't call nobody and don't this and don't that. So I give her the phone and she takes it to work. So I'm nervous because at this point, y'all, like, we didn't have passcodes on the phone and stuff like that. Like, we ain't had it. So she's like, has the, you know, phone at work, whatever. I'm thinking that, oh my God, like, what is she gonna find in there? It really wasn't even nothing in there. It's just like, you know, when you're young, you be cussing with your friends and stuff like that. So that's some stuff that was happening in there. Or like, I didn't want her to know, like, I was actually talking to boys. So that was in there too. And so she came home that night and she didn't say anything to me. So I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe she didn't see anything in my phone. She didn't go through my phone. She didn't do nothing. Well, that night, I guess she decides to go through it because I get a text message. And Chandler text. Mind you, I had told Chandler that I was risking the chance of getting my phone took. Don't text me, I'm gonna text you, blah blah blah. So I guess she sees it and she reads it or whatever, and I think it was like a I miss you text or something like that. And so she started going through the phone or whatever. So she goes through the pictures. All I hear is Ashley. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what happened? Like, I'm trying to think before I go in there. I'm like, huh? She was, come here. So I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? Like, I'm trying to think, what is it? What is it? What is it? Who is this? I said, huh? Who is this on my couch? Y'all, I forgot to delete the pictures. Mind you, we hadn't been taking pictures. We hadn't been taking pictures at all every time we saw each other. So like, I forgot to delete the picture. So the couch, we had like a distinctive couch. And you could tell that there was our couch. So the couch was in there. And I'm like, I don't know. How you don't know? And y'all on the camera, blah 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 blah. I'm like, I don't know, Mama, I don't know. And I'm trying to explain to her that, you know, he just came over, we just talked. That's literally what we did. He came over, we talked, we had fun. Like, that was all. It wasn't being grown. We wasn't doing none of that. We wasn't on none of that, really. I was still innocent. And so she decides to call him, and she calls, Chandler answers, and he answers his phone like, hey baby, this ain't your baby. Who is your baby? Who are you talking to? Blah blah blah. I'm just like, oh my gosh, y'all, when I say that was the worst day ever, that was the worst day ever. She found that she took so many pictures. Like, we took so many pictures. So I had to explain to her, like, we had been seeing each other. I didn't put my best friend in it, but I wanted to so bad because I felt like it was gonna make it better, but I didn't. But I was explaining to her how many times we had saw each other, how we met each other. He explained to her that this and that, and I'm thinking that it's gonna make it better. It ain't do nothing but make it worse. Y'all, she kept my phone for about, and it was so sad because the only time I could see Chandler was like if we decided to link up, or only time we could talk is if we talked on Skype or through text message or something. So like, she kept my phone for probably like a month, a long time. She started searching for like pictures from the other times I said we had saw each other, and we hadn't really took pictures. We didn't take pictures until that time. So I was like, no, I don't have any pictures. She was, oh, you deleted them, you forgot to delete these, blah blah blah. I'm just like, oh my gosh, y'all. After that, I didn't do nothing else. Nothing. I didn't do nothing. I was so not embarrassed. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed because, like I told y'all, Chandler didn't know I couldn't talk to people. So I was embarrassed because she told him that. He knew how old I was, but she told him that. And then on top of that, she was telling him, oh, don't talk to her. You don't need to talk to her. She'll talk to you in 2 years when she gets 16. I'm just like, girl, who's still gonna sit here and wait? Like, just let me have a friend. Like, we don't gotta be. I knew we was probably gonna still be like, yeah, we this, we that, but we ain't gotta be telling people we together. We ain't gotta be doing none of that. And y'all, from the time that happened, I told you, like, he was walking to my house with his friend. He would pop up at my church. I'd be so nervous. My mom would just be staring at me. And I'm like, I can't stop him from coming up to the church. Like, I can't. He's trying to get acquainted with the Lord. Like, what am I supposed to do? Wow, it's just magically, he just magically appeared. Like, they ended up being real cool in the end, like real cordial and real like friendly or whatever. And we ended up being like real friendly. We're still friends to this day. Like, he's a really great person. But that was just like something that was like, oh my God, when you think of like teenage stories, like, you think of something like that. And when I have like a daughter or a son, I hope and pray, Lord, my mom say all the time, you gonna get it back 10 times over, 10 times over, because her mom used to say that. And y'all, I really hope I don't, because like, teenagers are bad. They're not bad, they just do stuff. Like, they just do stuff. And I think that's just what I was, just doing stuff. Like, just doing stuff. But it was fun. Look, I do everything I did all over again. it was fun. That was a fun time to be alive. It was a fun time to be alive. That was a risk taking. That's some real risk taking, walking on water type stuff right there. But yeah, y'all, I just wanted to share this story time with y'all. Like, this is something that it's like super old, but it's something that's so funny when you think about it, because you can't believe that you do stuff like that. Like, I can't believe I did something like that, and I can't believe I risked, you know, something like that, but I still did it. And it's just fun to look back on times that you had and times and things that you did and all that stuff. I feel really good, like in a good, goofy, playful mood right now. So I just felt like sharing it with y'all, because that was just like memory lane and just thinking about stuff that I was doing. I'm like, oh my God, let me tell this story time. So that's what that was. Never did it again. Never wanted to do it again. Never wanted to go through none of that again. Like, because I was trying to tell my mom one thing, she was thinking another. I was trying to tell her what happened with the suspension, she was saying another thing because the teacher put it on the paper, and just all kind of stuff. So I didn't do that again, because I didn't feel like going through all that and explaining myself and still not being believed. So yeah, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video out. If y'all like story times, please let me know so I can keep doing them for you. I really like doing story times, so if you like then just let me know in the comments below. You can meet me down there. I'm always down there. I'm always gonna talk to you, always. So yeah, anywho, I must go now. So if you have not liked this video, please like this video. It helps me a lot. And if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe so I can officially be your girlfriend. And as always, in true Ashley fashion, I'll call you back. Bye.